very substantial boost.
The JSF remains a work in progress, but by the time the RAF buys its aircraft, the next design and software upgrade should be complete, and the F-35S will be significantly more capable than Hornets or Super Hornets. Air Marshal Davis says the results of the intense Red Flag air combat exercise in the US absolutely cement our view that this is the right aeroplane for Australia. US media is talking about a 15-to-1 kill ratio in favor of the F-35 against older generation fighters in the exercise in which RAF air crews took part. Though some commentators have raised questions about the significance of that figure. The officer responsible for the Australian end of the US-led multinational JSF program says the aircraft will revolutionize the way the nation fights wars far into the future. The head of the RAF's JSF Capability and Sustainment Group, Air Vice Marshal Lee Horden, says 4 factors give the F-35 its 5th-generation edge: stealth, sensors, fusion and data sharing. 2 factors stand out. One is the phenomenally powerful cutting-edge radar. The other is the Distributor Aperture System, or DAS. Cameras which give the pilot a 360-degree infrared view of the world. The third element is the way all of that information is fused together to give the pilot unparalleled situational awareness. A fourth element is the JSF's ability to quickly share the vast amount of information it gathers with air, land and naval forces. It will allow us to operate in the high-threat environments we will need to operate in if we end up in a conflict. Air Vice Marshal Gordon is confident that the first of the 72 JSFs on order for the RAF will be based in Australia by December 2018, and the first operational squadron and a training squadron will reach IOC by December 2020.
Air superiority is a fundamental pillar of air power, but more so, it is an essential prerequisite for the Australian way of modern joint warfare. Without it, our nation's ground and naval forces would be required to fight in very radically different ways. But gaining and maintaining air superiority is not easy. It requires trained, very proficient and ready aircrew. It also requires large numbers of very capable and technically superior aircraft.
3 squadrons will be fully combat ready in 2023. Group Captain Glenn Beck has been a fighter pilot all his adult life and is now director of the RAF's Air Combat Transition Office. He served in Iraq in 2003 as a flight commander, and he's trained many of the RAF's top pilots. The aim, he says, isn't just to see aircraft delivered and hangars built for them, but to get to a mature and self-sustaining system with fully trained pilots ready for operations. With F-35 we are on a massive learning curve. He says RAF specialists deeply embedded in the program in the US are well placed to identify any problems with the JSF. 2 RAF pilots are in the US instructing international pilots to fly the JSF, and 3 others are training them to become instructors. When you compare JSF to other options, when you look out past the 2030s, looking at the global strategic situation and where technology is going, it is the standout choice as the best solution to Australia's air power needs. The guys love how it flies. It's very easy to operate. The JSF is designed for what the pilots call BVR, beyond visual range, combat, but the Australian pilots say it can dogfight as well. Group Captain Beck says it's all about what the fighter pilots call the kill chain. Do I have more options than the bad guys to stay alive longer, and then do I have more options to fight than the bad guys? I don't care if they find me if they can't track me and target me. If they do find me, then to track me is a different problem again. But the F-35 has fantastic immediate region, she said. It directed the development of a capable, regionally superior defense force with the highest levels of military capability and technology sophistication, she said. To underpin this aspiration, the government committed to return the defense budget to 2% of GDP by the early 2020s, with much of this additional funding going toward the capitalization of capability across the Army. Navy and Air Force. One major area of modernization is the Army's vehicle inventory, TUI said. The service fields M1A1 Abrams main battle tanks, heavy equipment recovery combat utility lift and evacuation system, Hercules vehicles, M113 armored personnel carriers and Australian light armored vehicles, she said. The newest vehicle, the M1A1, is 11 years old. The oldest, the M113, is 52 years old, TUI noted. We have had the same vehicle in service with one upgrade for 52 years, she said. Because of their age, the vehicles aren't as capable in defending themselves against the threat of rocket-propelled grenades and improvised explosive devices, she added. To address the problem, the Australian Army is embarking on an ambitious effort to recapitalise its fleet, TUI said. Over the next 20 years, their Army has been allocated around $20 billion to upgrade or replace every armoured vehicle in our inventory, she said. The vehicles will have active protection systems and employ a range of smart munitions. Collectively, they will be closer to the Joint Strike Fighter in terms of sensors, networks and lines of code than the compressed aluminium boxes they will replace. One line of effort is called the Land 400 program, which initially aims to replace Australia's light armoured vehicles with an 8x8 wheeled combat reconnaissance vehicle, she said. The program is in its final stages, she noted. Final tender offers were submitted last month and a decision announcement by the Australian government is expected in the first half of next year, she said. The next phase of the effort would include the fielding of an infantry fighting vehicle, she added. Australia is also planning to upgrade its communication systems. Despite kicking off an effort to improve its military communication network a decade ago, the Australian Army is still not where it should be, she said. We've had digital radios and data in the deployed environment since I was a young officer and we have capable strategic communication systems, she said. However, our systems are not uniformly distributed. And we struggled to support the increased demand for bandwidth and mobility whilst balancing the associated imperative to reduce signatures and protect against cyber attack. The Army has also purchased a number of commercial off-the-shelf systems that may work well in isolation, but that are not able to connect with each other, she said. Our objective is to transition our current C3 system designed from the bottom up toward becoming a top-down, integrated by design digital land combat system, she said. It would